fresh maker.
And hence. And hence. And hence.
We all remember meeting the Commodore at his house for his welcome aboard reception. Like Rapunzel, he seems to have retreated to his third-story getaway in the wing building, where reclusively he makes Training Wing 2 run. Today, we got him to lower his golden locks and let us close enough to find out a bit more about him. Sir, I'd like to start out by welcoming you and thanking you for joining us. I'm well aware that your time is very busy, and it means a lot to me that you can come join us and talk to us a little bit about what's been going on lately.
We're doing a great job. Both VT-21 and VT-22 have really stepped it up, and they're flying an awful lot. We're a little behind on X's right now, but the game plan is through May and June and July we should get back on step. We're doing very well.
Sir, you and I had the chance to fly together last week, and I'm kind of anxious to figure out how you thought it went. I think it went pretty well. Would you say that it motivated you?
Motivate's probably not the right word.
That bad, huh? Well, what do you think I did wrong?
I don't think there's any real common thread. Everybody wants to be here.
Can you give it to me straight here? I mean, am I even going to get winged? I mean, I'm still going to get winged, right?
Some people, for whatever reason, it turns out not to be what they're destined to do. Either it's through an eye-hand coordination, or it's a particular phase of training, whether it's a head work issue, whether it's decide they frankly don't want to do it. But there is no common thread.
Sir, I've noticed in locker rooms and changing areas alike, I've never really distinguished myself as a very well-endowed patron. Is there anywhere I can go to maybe boost my ego and feel a little bit better about myself?
Go to Japan.
Sir, during my spare time, I like to look at some pretty freaky stuff online. Is there anywhere in the world I can go to maybe act out some of my fantasies?
Go to Japan.
Sir, I've heard you were quite the ladies' man in your younger years. I was wondering if you had any recommended duty stations or places I could go to really meet some good women. Kingsville, perhaps?
If you're looking for the next Mrs. X Elliott, you know, you're not going to find her probably in Kingsville in all likelihood. There's a much better, I shouldn't say better, but a bigger selection population in Corpus Christi.
Okay. What about the cream of the crop?
The cream of society. They're the top 1% of all of our society has to offer.
Yeah, where the really good ladies are.
Go to Japan.
Sir, I've heard recently that there's a change in effect that students at a primary will no longer select E2C2 versus jets. They'll just select tailhook. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
It took effect actually 1 June. Just took effect. We selected the first class out of primary into the tailhook aviation piece of it, and I personally think it's a great move. It's really, the genesis of that was the junior officers, instructor pilots in VT-21 and 22 put that idea forward. We ran it up to Sinatra. They bought off on it. I think it'll help a lot for a couple of reasons. One, it'll introduce a better selection process for tailhook, whether it goes E2C2 or TS, rather than have primary instructors who are principally primary helicopter rotary wing or P3 guys trying to make that selection. We'll now have E2C2 and TAC Air guys making that selection. As well, it injects a little bit of competition, and it gets rid of, frankly, that halo effect. The guy that shows up at primary that's got 1,500 Cessna 172 hours, and he rides that into getting whatever he wants, but plateaus later on in life. This gives us a better chance to select in the right platform to find the right skill sets, either for E2 or for TAC Air, and that goes to the degree of also, you want to make sure you get the best landers flying E2C2. It's a tough plane to bring aboard.
Sir, in order to boost morale, I've heard there was some request put up the chain of command to get all of our linemen replaced with exotic dancers.
It'd be a big Navy issue, but I don't see it happening anytime in the near future.
Sir, let's not get too quick to judge. Studies have shown that exotic dancer training is actually longer and more intensive than pilot training.
Their time to train just because of weather is 2 weeks longer than ours.
Funny you mention that, sir. I did a little digging of my own, and in my research I found that you used to be an exotic dancer yourself. Care to comment?
It's pretty tough, actually.
Well, specifically, let me look at my notes here. We show that you had 3 killer moves on the pole. Can you tell me a bit about, let me see if I get these right, the half Brazilian 8, the heat-seeking sidewinder, and the Jake? Can you still perform any of these moves?
2 out of the 3 I can probably do pretty good for you.
Oh, well, what about the third, the Jake?
The Jake is not exactly politically correct.